Hey everybody, here we're looking at the Q Computer Channel page. Have a look at this. Yes guys, look at that. Getting very close to 4 million views. So look at this computer here. Get you a good look at it. This will be the first time you've ever seen on Q Computer Channel. It has never been featured on my channel before. And you're thinking, oh, this is some basic computer in a mid-tower case. What could be special inside this thing? Well, I can tell you that the hardware itself really is from year 2000. The case is probably newer than that. So why would you be doing with something this old on Q Computer Channel for your 4 million views? There's something special behind this machine. Well, inside it. Let's get you a look at the back. I'm sure you guys are probably not going to figure out what's so special about this thing until I take the cover off. You can see several of the expansion slot covers are missing. That's from when I pulled a bunch of hardware out of this thing. And look at the rust on that on that Ethernet card, on that network card. Look at the rust. Yes guys, this thing's set upstairs for quite some time. Since 2009. Been out there for 6 years. Now the rest of this machine looks okay from the outside. I'm sure it still would probably boot up, but I'm not exactly sure what I took out of this thing or what I left in it. I'm really uncertain about it. So we're going to be doing something special with this thing. Let's go ahead and take the cover off the side. Just to give you an idea, it uses an Intel Pentium 3 processor. So Pentium 3, what's so special about Pentium 3? Well, want that screw. Just fall right off. See if you guys can figure out what is so special about this machine. With the screwdriver that time, doing things with one hand. Okay, I'm going to set the camera down this way and pull the cover off. Well, going to need 2 hands to do that. It's been on there for 6 years. There we go. And it looks like it's going to need some maintenance before I can really move forward with it. It's going to need some repairs done. Set on its side. Yes, it's definitely going to need some recapping. There are some bad caps on that board. Quite a few of them. But I'd say it's worth it. Let's slowly aim the camera down. Well, there's your Pentium 3 processor under an AMD heatsink. Well, look, there's another one. There's 2 Pentium 3 processors on this board. Dual socket 370. And you can see, yeah, I can't imagine it's all that great. Though I did at the same time, I've taken a bunch of stuff out of here. TPO capacitors, many of them failing. And I believe this board has had caps replaced in the past. This motherboard has, usually, when they came out, they came with JackCon capacitors, which suffered from full-blown capacitor plague. So a lot of those had to be recapped. But TPOs are not that great either. Look at some motherboards. There's bad caps all over this thing. So let's just unplug some stuff, because that motherboard's going to come out anyway. disconnect all this stuff. I'm going to pull all the cables out of here so that way you guys can easily see what this thing has in store. I'm going to give you guys some more information about it. It's hard to believe I've never shown you guys this thing on my channel ever before. And I don't think it was even featured on Bike Geek CCP either. Now you're looking carefully at this thing, you see 2 processors and 4 memory banks. This is a, believe it is actually considered a server class board for its time. We're still going to take the sound card and the Ethernet card out, but this is an 8-bit VP6 motherboard. You can probably see down in there. Yep, 8-bit VP6. 8-bit was one of the brands, you know, back in its day. It was a really decent brand, but I think eventually they went bankrupt and you just never hear about it anymore. Don't think they're even in existence anymore. But back in its prime, 8-bit was a really decent brand. Now they did suffer from capacitor issues, as you can see. Yes, I got lots of caps to replace on this board. I may have to decap some other Death Row motherboards to get enough capacitors to recap this thing. 2 Pentium 3 1 GHz processors. We have 4 SD RAM slots. And it looks like they're all 256 megabytes in there. So a gig of RAM. Now I've actually got more SD RAM to put in here, you know, bigger quantities, and let me show you guys a special stick of SD RAM I originally had with this thing. Okay everybody, here we have a bag of SD RAM memory. Now generally when you think of SD RAM you're probably thinking 64 megabytes, 128 megabytes, 256 megabytes, or 512 megabytes. Usually 512 megabytes is the biggest size you'll commonly see in SD RAM. For example, let's see what we have here. 512 megabytes, that's a pretty good size stick there. What else we have in here? Now this bag here should have my larger quantity sticks. See, 256 megabytes. But oh, what's this? It looks a little different than the previous sticks, don't it? You guys are going to flip out when you see how much RAM is on this stick of SD RAM. Just get you a careful look at those chips, will you? Now we're talking RAM that's probably from year 2000. I believe this would be considered server RAM. Yes, guys. 1 gig of RAM. And an SD RAM module. Yes. PC 133. 1 gigabyte. And it does work with this motherboard. Now, there are many boards out there this would not work with. Like, for example, with many of the Pentium 3s out there, if you have the Intel 815 chipset, you're hard limited to 512 megabytes. That's it. But this particular motherboard has a VIA chipset. I can't remember the exact model off the top of my head. VIA chipset. I think it can actually do up to 2 gigs of RAM. So dual Pentium 3s, 2 gigs of RAM max. And let's show you what else this thing has. We have, I think it's ATA 100, but we also have a HighPoint IDE RAID controller. So there it is right there. There's your HighPoint chip. Here's your south bridge. You can see via south bridge. Now, the north bridge is under a heatsink, so we can't really see the model. It's been a long time since I had this motherboard out. Had this machine out, really, to be honest. The cap started to fail about, let's say, the spring of 2009. So let's take a look here at the power supply. It's a PowerWin from, I believe, 2002. 5-volt heavy supply. That's great for this machine. 5-volt heavy. On this machine, the CPUs, I do believe, take their power from the 5-volt rail. It is a 420 watt supply. Not sure if it can actually do 420 watts or not. 42 amps on the 5-volt rail, 26 amps on the 3.3 volt rail, and 18 amps on the 12 volt rail. So even on the 12 volt, it's not terribly bad. But there are 300 watt units out there that put more output on the 12 volt rail nowadays. It's an older design unit. And so what we got to do here is we got to recap this board. We got to replace all those bulging TPO capacitors. Now, I may just replace the ones that are bulging, just to make sure it's up and running and stable. So once we get this thing recapped, we're going to do some special stuff with it. Going to see how well it can run Windows 7. I've always wondered how well this would run Windows 7. Pretty much ever since Windows 7 came out. The thing about this is you have to run a professional version of Windows 7. You can't run Home Premium. Saying goes, you can't run Windows Vista Home Premium, can't run Windows XP Home Edition. That's because the professional editions have the support for multiple CPUs. It's a little different than it's a little bit different than dual core. You actually have 2 physical processors on this board. In this pretty much a server setup. You have multiple CPUs on this thing, and the Home OS will not support it. You have to have the professional version. I'll also be doing a mix around with some hardware. I may see what I may try a 160 GB IDE hard drive in this thing. And I may even try some SATAs. I have a SATA card. Hook up some SATA hard drives and see if it can support them. That'd be interesting to know. So anyways, guys, stay tuned.